Hi everyone, welcome back, and today we're going to be treating this new development that the World Health Organization is now saying that fumigating streets could be harmful. Now that's what everybody has been talking about, that you're going to start fumigating streets, using planes, using vehicles, all those fumigants, fumigating everywhere, spraying disinfectants and all of that. The WHO is now saying that it could actually be counterproductive. It could actually be hurting people rather than helping people. So we're going to be discussing the modalities of all of that. We're going to be discussing what it means, everything about it, and what the WHO is talking about when it is stating that fumigating streets could be harmful. So these are the things we're going to be talking about today. But first of all, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help the channel to grow, and let's begin work. Now, according to a new study, it is shown that fumigating streets, unless it is directly applied to the surface you're talking about, because in most cases they are just spraying it into the air. Most places are not going to be covered in the actual sense of it. The wind is going to spread most of it to other parts, so you're not going to be so sure that it's landing on the parts where you want it to land and all of that. So that's one of the first problems with it. So which means even when you're spraying a particular area, like a huge swath of that particular area is not getting fumigated, it's not getting disinfected to even start with at the very beginning. And then you get to the issue of spraying the air that people breathe in. Now I understand that most people are not going to be there where the when the fumigation is going on, but consider this particular issue. Now in Ekiti State, they are talking about spraying everywhere with aircrafts. Now, if you're going to be spraying everywhere with aircraft, are you going to tell me that everyone is going to leave the state, the entire local government, for them to spray everywhere? So it's probably going to be not so helpful, probably even harmful in some ways. So think about people that have asthma, think about people that have pneumonia, think about people that have pre-existing conditions that are going to be exposed to all those fumigants and all of that. Some people have reactions towards chemicals, some special chemicals. Now let's even say that it's not in the air. By the time you get to that park that has been fumigated and you sit down or whatever and you touch that surface, whether intentionally or not, and you mistakenly touch your skin with it, it could lead to serious reactions for some people. So there is real risk of affecting people negatively that is very easy for you to measure, and it's very easy to conceptualize and to understand that. But in the aspect of really being effective against the virus, there's no assurance it's going to be all that effective. And then there is a big part to it that you have to understand. That big part is that most of all those studies that were given to us in the lab, they were done in the lab. All those studies about COVID-19 living for so amount of hours on fabric, living for so amount of hours on metal, living for so amount of hours on plastic, on nylons and all of that. Most of those things were done in the lab in controlled situation. They were not done under the sun, and we all understand that the sun is a very big disinfectant, is the most effective disinfectant when it comes to this type of microorganism, when it comes to this specific virus. So sun can kill this virus both in the air and also on surfaces outside in warm and hot areas like in Africa. So it means for the most part we should just allow the sun to do its thing. We should not go on adding more chemicals to the environment and hurting everybody. And then there is the aspect that some of all these fumigants are not even environmentally friendly. So all these people talking about being green and making sure that you use green materials, making sure that you recycle and all of that, trying to save the planet and all of those rhetorics, most of these fumigants are not green at all. Most of the fumigants are not going to be respectful of the environment. Most of these fumigants are not going to help to preserve the environment. So it's not only hurting human beings, it's even hurting the environment. So many disadvantages with all this fumigation stuff. So that's the issue. And then you're not even talking about the disadvantage it could have on talk about plants and animals in the environment. So especially in the aspect of plants, let's say you are fumigating the entire state, for example in Ekiti State, and then you have farmlands. Nobody's talking about what this thing is going to do to the farmlands. Nobody's talking about what it's going to do to the crops on the farm. Nobody's talking about that because nobody's thinking of that. Everybody's just thinking about killing COVID-19. You always have to understand that whenever you take an action, there's always going to be a repercussion to that action. No matter how good the action may be, there is going to be a negative effect of that action. So when you're trying to kill COVID-19, let's even say the thing is as effective as it is proposed to be, what happens to the food supply of people in the farm? What happens to the animals in the farm? So nobody's really thinking about all these things. So that's the problem. We all understand how herbicides, that's the materials you use to fumigate your farm, to kill pests, and to kill not only pests. We'll talk about pesticides, and then we'll talk about herbicides. So one to kill pests in the farm, and one to kill all these weeds in the farm. So all those things have negative effects on animals that try to consume them. So you poison the animals, you poison all sorts of things all around in the environment, and human beings feed on these animals. So your goat goes around and feeds on something that is contaminated with all these fumigants, and then you kill the animal and eat it. So that's the reason. So it is actually, in some respects, very detrimental to the health of human beings. So the best way forward, the way I see it, is to just follow the regulations given from the start, which is wash your hands as soon as possible. If you're outside and you don't have soap and water, just go for hand sanitizers and use your face mask. Keep yourself safe. Enough of chemicals. These chemicals aren't being as helpful as they are proposed or as they are being advertised to be. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help the channel to grow. Share with your friends, help the channel to grow, please, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Bye.